This just in, Rebel Scum, we have a new Star Wars TV show, Star Wars Resistance.
How you get so big getting food of this kind?
So in classic Star Wars fashion, they dropped a new announcement on a day when I'm really busy, but here's a new announcement on the new Star Wars TV show, Star Wars Resistance. Now, some time ago we heard the phrase Star Wars Resistance get announced. It was before Rebels was done, and a lot of people pretty much assumed it was going to be exactly what we got. The next Star Wars cartoon is going to be Star Wars Resistance, set during the time-ish of the sequel trilogy, and be about the Resistance. I feel kind of weird calling this news, because I feel like this is the thing that we all knew was going to be a thing. They just didn't want to tell us it was going to be a thing yet, but we all knew. It was just like this mutual understanding. There'd been rumors going around of kind of like a Poe Dameron type of TV show. As it turns out, no. I mean, Poe Dameron's going to be in it, but it's not going to be his TV show. So let's take a look at StarWars.com itself. As always, I never really believe any announcement until I see it on StarWars.com. It's good general practice to have. It is a new animated series about Kazuda Xeno? I'm not entirely sure how to say that name, but I'm not entirely sure how to say anyone's name in Star Wars. That Luki Skywalker character seems pretty neat. Basically, we got a young Resistance pilot who's going out on secret missions to find out about the First Order. Where this places the TV show is it cannot be any earlier than about 6 years before The Force Awakens. Obviously, we're dealing with the Resistance and the First Order, so it has to be post-Return of the Jedi, but the Resistance and the First Order really kind of came into being in the Star Wars novel Bloodline, which if you haven't read, I've told you in like 8 videos to go read it, so are you even listening to me? Just go read the book already, my gosh. Anyway, so Bloodline is about the formation of the First Order. It shows the origins of the Resistance, and it also takes place about 6 years before The Force Awakens. Therefore, this series has to take place either directly after that book or somewhere in between the book and The Force Awakens. It's likely not directly after because the First Order isn't fully formed yet and the Resistance isn't fully formed yet, so I would assume that it needs some time to go, but it's probably not going to butt right up against The Force Awakens either. It's probably going to have, it's going to fall somewhere in the middle, as a guess, but I don't really know. The series is going to follow this pilot, but we are going to see BB-8 in it a lot, of course. We're going to see Poe Dameron, we're going to see Captain Phasma. The cool thing here is that Poe and Phasma are voiced by Oscar Isaac and Gwendolyn Christie, so it's great that they're bringing back the main talent for this. That tells me that they're probably not going to be in the series a whole freaking lot. If you kind of think back to the Star Wars The Clone Wars movie, when it was released in theaters, had Samuel L. Jackson and Christopher Lee voicing Mace Windu and Count Dooku, but it didn't have them in the series really, or you know, they had James Earl Jones for an episode with Vader for Rebels, but it wasn't all of the time. I think it's going to be something similar to this. The weird and confusing thing about this for me is the obvious choice for the next series is, spoilers for the ending of Star Wars Rebels, where's the Ahsoka Sabine TV show, right? Well, Dave Filoni is still doing this series, so I don't think that that plot line is out, but I don't know that it's really going to be the main thing. We talked about this actually on the Port Haven Streamcast. If you missed that episode, we kind of lumped it in with like our Marvel Avengers special, so you might not have seen it, but we did a little bit of discussing in this one. I will link in the place. It's going to be kind of like a Mortis episodes and Rebels sort of thing, where if you had told me that Mortis was going to show up in Star Wars Rebels, I would have told you that you were crazy and that it was going to be terrible if I knew about this around the time of the first season. But by the time we got to the end of Rebels, it made a lot of sense. It's possible we're going to have the same thing here. Resistance is going to start out one way and then end up being an entirely different show where we are going to get Ahsoka and Sabine. The most striking difference with this is the animation style. StarWars.com specifically used the word anime. I don't know if that means actual anime or like Disney XD Forces of Destiny anime. Probably going to be something similar to that. It's going to be a 2D series and not a 3D series, presumably, just based off of the picture they have on the site. So it's just going to be different. It's going to look a little bit different. You know, where Rebels was kind of the spiritual successor to the Clone Wars, I don't know how much this is going to have a feel like the 3D animated series, but maybe it won't actually make that much of a difference. We'll see. Really all we know is like what I said, and like who's going to be in it. Link to StarWars.com, of course, in the description so you can see the article for yourself, but that's kind of our initial thoughts. We're going to be talking about this a lot more. It's going to start coming out in the fall, so they're going to be ready to go. I'm assuming, like, when Solo's done, they're going to start pitching this. So as we get more information, we'll be happy to bring it to you. Let me know what you think in the series, what you hope about it, what you kind of want to see. Your thoughts on the different animation style. Also, follow us at Port Haven Forums. We'll be continuing this discussion. Visit port-haven.com for more. And as always, keep it real and fly casual.
Cooking can be fun.